welcome to my winter diaries. So you join me here today at Carp Fisheries. It's late afternoon, I've just arrived just after work, so it's going to get dark in a little while, and I've had a little walk around. I spent sort of 20 minutes quickly lapping the lake, just trying to see if there was any signs of life, and to be honest, the lake is dead flat calm, and there's no disturbance anywhere, no bubbling, nothing. It's very quiet. And I've spoken to a couple of the guys who are on here, and they've not seen or heard anything either. So from what I can gather, there was one fish out at the weekend, and there's not been anything since. So yeah, definitely seems like we're up against it. But yeah, we give it a go, and hopefully we'll have something to show you for the camera. But for now, I need to go and get them rods out before it gets dark. Fortunately in this swim, I know a few spots, so hopefully that should speed up the process. So quickly have a little lead about on them and check, see if they're okay. So this is the mix I'm using during the session. It's made up of mainly sort of boidy crumb, and this is the Atlantic heat boidy crumb, and there's some edge pellet in there as well, and some of the Baitworks krill powder. Perfect for a bag mix this, so I absolutely love this mixture. And the only other thing I add to that is a little bit of Himalayan rock salt as well. So I'm going to take one of the Baitworks solid bags. These are perforated, absolutely brilliant for winter fishing. Going to get a little bit of that mix I showed you. Probably put sort of about an inch and a half in the bottom of that. Take my lead, pop that in against the back of the bag. I'll keep that hook bait and link tucked to one side. Top that mix up a little bit. And then what I'll do is I'll pass that hook bait down through the bag. It's quite a large hook bait, being a cultured one, so you have to get them in the bag a little bit earlier. So I'll push that about 2/3 of the way down, just making sure hook links and that aren't tangled up. Top that bag back up a bit more. I actually go into quite a bit of detail on making solid bags on a separate video on our channel, so by all means check that out. I'm not fishing very far out here tonight, so I'm not going to bother using PVA tape. I'm just going to wet the top, just gently pack that down, wet the top of the bag, and then twist that off onto the tubing itself. And then pull the corners in a bit as well. Hit both corners, hold them down for a few seconds to make sure they're locked off. So that's nice and tight. The bag is pretty tight. It's not as tight as what it would be and perfectly formed if I was fishing at range. I'm only fishing a little way out, I'm only fishing 10 wraps, so just pop the hole there next to the hook bait as well, really important. Yeah, done. Let's go and get that out into the lake and see if that can nick a bite. just got them rods out, just letting them, I've had the tips down in the water for about 5-10 minutes, just letting them sink, that line to really sink down in the water. I always find on these small waters, fish can be particularly spooked by lines, though I do like to fish for liners in winter. On this particular lake I've always found them really spooky. So what I do is I clip on a small back lead, flying back lead. This is what you would normally put on before you cast, but I like to put them on afterwards. Just clip that down onto the line, lock it in place, and yeah, slide that out. The pit itself has some really good previous winter form, and back when it used to be a syndicate I always used to fish down here in the winter months and always did quite well, catching some really nice fish. So the bite did eventually come in the early hours of the morning. Unfortunately it was just one of the small stockies. Quickly took a picture of it in the net and let it go. It was freezing cold. There was like a heavy sort of mist in the air, and yeah, it just wasn't going to be particularly good for doing any sort of filming. So yeah, just popped it back, quickly retied a solid bag and got it back out there. It's absolutely freezing cold this morning still, but yeah, it's been an enjoyable trip. Hopefully get amongst some of the slightly better fish in the foreseeable future. I definitely heard other fish last night. They were definitely active, they just weren't in my part of the lake, and I would have moved if I'd have been able to, but unfortunately the areas of the lake the fish were showing in, there was already anglers fishing, so yeah, there wasn't really an option to do it, so I just had to sort of sit on my hands, and I did move one rod a little bit nearer to where they were showing, but yeah, that was about it. But that was actually the rod what went, so yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the bank soon.